What's up everyone, it's Liane V and welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Tea with Liane V. And today this is coffee that I am drinking, and it's caramel coffee in this beautiful Milan cup. This is when I went to Milan and I had the best time. It was my first time going there for Milan Fashion Week. I was walking my very first catwalk for Philipp Plein. He's a German designer. It was honestly one of the best experiences ever, and the catwalk was 9 minutes long. It was unbelievable, and I was able to meet a bunch of different people, and it was something that I'm never going to forget. It was a 9-minute catwalk. We had to walk in heels, and these heels are not just regular simple heels. They're really high heels, and we didn't get to break them in because we had to literally wear them the next day. So I had blisters in the back of my feet, and I mean, 9 minutes doesn't sound very long, but when you're in heels on a mirrored platform and just lights everywhere, it's a bit scary, but it was such a great experience. I am definitely going to visit Milan another time and actually enjoy it. I didn't get to stay long enough, but this right here on the mug, it's a picture of Duo di Milano. It's a cathedral, and I actually took a picture in front of this, and let me just tell you, it was so hard to take a picture in front of this spot because there was so many people, so many tourists. It was just really hard to take a good picture, but we made it happen. The wind was hitting right. The birds didn't poop on me. If you don't know, they have a bunch of pigeons there, so it's a bit scary because they will just fly so close to you. Like, one flew right in front of my face and I thought that it was gonna hit me, but luckily it didn't. So great time, great experience. Scary experience with the birds, but I had a good time. And yeah, so here's the picture that I took. It honestly turned out really good, and the people in the background weren't really distracting, so I'm really happy the way it turned out. But yes, this is my Milan mug. I had such a great time there, and I'm never going to forget it, and I cannot wait to visit there again. So today I wanted to talk about self-love, and I know I've talked about it in my previous videos. I've mentioned it a few times, and I really want to get in depth of this because I keep getting questions on what is self-love. Like, what does it really mean to love yourself? A lot of people get it mixed up, like, oh, you love yourself, well, you're conceited or you're selfish, you love only yourself. Like, it's not about that. It's not about, oh, I love myself and only me. I think it's very important when you're thinking about your happiness, you have to prioritize yourself, because sometimes, again, for myself, what I've learned that I always did was always think about other people, and then I start forgetting about what I need, what Liane needs for herself, what she needs to do to help herself in life. So that's one thing though that you have to understand. It's not about being selfish. And so what? Even if you're selfish for yourself, because how are you going to help other people when you don't help yourself? Like, how can you pour into someone's cup when you're empty? So number one, you have to love yourself, which means taking care of yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. So it's so important to understand that you have to love yourself first. So from what I've learned, what self-love means, self-love stems from knowing that you are already whole. And in my previous videos, I've talked about wholeness. And again, wholeness is the highest and healthiest version of a person. I truly believe that every blessing, every opportunity comes from God, and God gives us unconditional love with every breath we take. And somewhere down the line in life, we get distracted, and certain things that happen to us and experience, we lose that connection. And we just have to remember that we receive unconditional love from God, and that we don't need to seek others to fill that in our hearts. Because once you start lacking God, I feel like people start to want to get other energy and love from other people, which of course we're supposed to love each other and love one another, but you can't walk around in life feeling like you are not enough. And I think that's what happens when you think about self-love. Like, I love myself, I am enough, I am whole, and that helps you have a healthier mindset, and you feel secure and confident. And just knowing that when you know God created you for a purpose, and knowing that He gives you and pours unconditional love to you, you're gonna walk so different, you're gonna think so different, and I feel that that energy that you're projecting is just gonna give you more opportunities in life. And I think that's what blocks a lot of blessings, is our minds. Again, it all starts in our mind. Everything starts in our mind. What we think can actually manifest. So when you're walking around insecure, you're actually blocking your own blessings. I feel like God wants to bless us and give us everything our heart desires, but we block our own blessings by making certain decisions that aren't opening and aligning us to God for what He wants to give us. And have you ever noticed, if not you, someone else, when they cut a person out of their life that's not supposed to be in their life, like someone toxic and bad, like blessings start to pour in. And you're like, oh my God, this opportunity here, this here, that there. And it's all because you cut that person off. And sometimes that person is not supposed to be attached attached to you and you receive these blessings because they're not meant to go on the next level that you're going to. I've seen it happen so many times, and especially with me when I used to hang on to unhealthy relationships, unhealthy friendships, and I noticed certain things in my life aren't going with the natural flow that I want it to. And of course, nothing is going to pan out the way you want it to all the time, but if you notice, like, sometimes there's certain people that you need to let go. And it's not about quitting, because some people say, oh, you're gonna quit on me, whether it be a friendship or a relationship. You just have to know when enough is enough, and when this person is no longer serving your happiness. Like, there's no point that you need to be in my life. And I've definitely learned that along the way, living in LA, meeting so many different people. And I love people. Like, I love surrounding myself with different friends and making new friends, but again, you have to protect your energy. You have to understand who you are. You can't be influenced to do something that you're not happy or comfortable with. And I've seen it happen all the time. People move to LA, they're super humble, super sweet, and then all of a sudden they go to the wrong crowd, they get influenced, and they just become this whole different person. And that's the scariest thing. When you lose yourself, you don't even know who you are anymore. And especially around the people that love you or know you, they're like, yo, you're a whole different person. And some people change for the better, you know. So I'm not saying that it's always going to be bad. It's just that you have to protect your energy and really pay attention to the people that you hang out with, if that's the people that you want to become, because again, you are a reflection of who you hang out with. And so you want to make sure you protect that energy. You don't need anyone to validate who you are. It's crazy because when I moved to LA, there were agencies that I wanted to work with. There were producers and writers and photographers, and I started becoming my own business by taking my own pictures, learning how to edit. I couldn't afford paying all these people to do that, so I learned how to edit, I learned how to take pictures, I learned how to use Final Cut Pro, Premiere, all these different programs. Like, I had to learn to figure this out, and then I collaborated with friends. And I'm telling you, friendship definitely helped me in the industry. It's all about connections, it's all about who you know. And of course, you don't want to lose yourself at the same time, but you have to make connections. You have to network, you have to get to know people. But this is the number one thing that I tell everyone from what I've learned. And don't ever feel like you have to sell yourself or settle for less, because, for instance, oh my god, I have to go to this party because so-and-so is going to be there and it's going to be my shot to be able to get into this movie or get into this, you know, acting gig. It's going to be crazy. I have to go there. You have to remember, at the end of the day, as long as you're connected with God, that's the number one connection you have to worry about, because God's gonna open up doors that you never expected and create conversations about you with other people that they're gonna end up talking about you in some kind of way. And it's happened multiple times for me where I haven't even met these people, but they want to work with me because of word of mouth. And that leads and connects to how you treat people, how you respect people. When you move to LA or any other city that you want to grow in the business with, I feel that you have to be respectful. You have to be kind, because people will never forget how you make them feel. And when it comes to the business, people talk. And so I know I'm totally like straying away from self-love, but how you treat people is a reflection of how you treat yourself as well. Because if you're good to yourself, you're going to be good to people. If you're rude and hurtful to people, you're going to end up hurting yourself. And hurt people hurt people. So again, walk with love, be kind, be respectful. People are going to talk about you, whether if it's good or bad, but if you know that you're doing right and you're treating people with kindness, you can't go wrong. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be so many people that may say things and you can't care what people think. I understand that, but all you have control of is what you do for yourself. But again, back to self-love. I kind of strayed away. That's a whole different conversation I actually want to get into with you guys, of just like pursuing the industry and understanding how you connect with people and how you build your team and all that. So we'll get into that later. But back to self-love after I take this sip of coffee. Okay, where was I? So back to self-love, of making sure you don't lose that connection, of knowing that everything comes from God and God gives you unconditional love. So you are already whole, you are already created whole, and you don't need anyone. So when people lose that connection later down the line, they end up feeling empty, they feel needy, they get insecure, and they just don't have that solid confidence that they used to walk with. And I mean, sometimes it's the household that you were raised in. If you weren't loved right, if they didn't love you right, or whatever it may be, you know, sometimes I've definitely talked to my friends that have experienced, you know, parents with divorce or losing, you know, a dad or a mom. I know that it stems from the past, but I feel that it's never too late to love yourself. It's never too late to start over with anything, because as long as you're breathing and you're alive, you have a purpose and God has something very special for you. And you have to know that. You have to believe that and take that in and know that you are created whole. When people lose that connection, they begin to get into a state of desperation and neediness, and then they end up wanting validation from other people. This yearning for fulfillment turns into a need for validation and approval. And it gets really scary when you're in that mindset, because again, you become desperate and you just want anything and everything. And that's when you end up allowing all this different energy that's not even supposed to be in your life. People that are just toxic, or people that want to use you, and it's all just because you're empty. And that's not a good reason to ever get in a relationship too. With that mindset, it's a very scary place to be, because you don't ever want to be desperate, because you make bad decisions. You end up doing things for the wrong reasons. Just like some people get married for the wrong reasons. Why? For money, because we have kids, because it will save money, and it's just, they end up getting a divorce. And I've seen so many people go through that. My sisters have gone through that, and I've just learned so much watching people go through their mistakes. And I mean, I'm not perfect. I go through my mistakes as well, but I try my best to learn all of these things outside of not me making the mistakes, because I don't ever want to experience divorce and all that. But again, these are the things that you have to know into becoming whole and loving yourself, is just being aware of all of this. Okay, so I wrote these notes down that I want to read to you. So it says, never seek validation, approval, or acceptance. Love yourself instead. Give yourself the attention you need. Go within and dive deeper until you realize that everything you've always been looking for was only to get closer to your own self. You need you more than you need anyone else. So again, you guys, everything starts with you. Everything starts in your mind and in your heart, and understanding that you are whole because of God's unconditional love for you. Again, it's not being selfish. It's not just putting you first and forget everybody else. You have to be healthy. How are you going to help others if you can't help yourself? Again, your mind, spirit, body, soul, you have to take care of yourself. And I actually wrote down a list of things on how to take care of yourself, because some people are like, well, how do I love myself? Where do I start? Like, I'm about to tell you guys. So I actually wrote down a list of self-love tips that I use for me, that hopefully you guys would want to use as well. So number one, fitness and just working out. I think working out relieves stress, it prevents injuries, you just are happier. Like, I've never thought of a workout that I regret. Like, oh my god, I can't believe I worked out so hard today, I'm so mad at myself. No, it feels so good to work out. You feel great. Then you don't feel so bad eating a cheeseburger or a burrito, whatever you want. Like, I honestly work out because I love to eat too. If that's not your motivation, it's mine. I love working out because I love to eat. I love food. So I just don't feel as guilty when I eat. But that's another thing. Fitness, working out is so important. So I definitely would give that tip. Even if you dedicate 15-20 minutes a day to doing something active, it makes such a big difference. And I promise you, you will not regret it. And I've noticed a lot of people make excuses saying, I don't have time to work out. I'm so tired. Let me just tell you, when you want to do something, you're going to make time for it. And that's with everyone. I'm going to use my sister as an example. She works a full-time job and has a daughter. She'll wake up at like 3-4 a.m, work out for about an hour, then take her to school, then go to work and work all day. Then she gets off of work, she makes dinner, she helps her daughter with homework, and then she puts her to bed, and then she's, you know, going to bed early, doing whatever else she needs to do, and then she does the same thing. So if you truly want to do something in life, you're gonna make time for it. So all these excuses, cut it, because you can do it. I believe it, even if it's for 10 minutes. Like, do some jumping jacks in the shower. I don't know. Wait, don't do that, you don't want to slip. Okay, moving on. And this is another tip. So you know that saying, your body is a temple? Well, it is. Your body is a temple. You have to start treating it like a temple. So whatever you put in your body, practice eating healthier. I know it's hard. I believe in cheat meals. I believe in balance in life. Like, if I'm gonna have a salad, I can have a taco. Like, I feel like it's okay to have a balance, but at the same time, like, think about it. Really feed yourself healthier foods, more vegetables, more vitamins, just so you can take care of yourself, because this is like our only body, right? We have one body for our entire life. Like, imagine if you have a car. Think of it like that. You have one car for the rest of your life. Wouldn't you want to take care of it? Because you don't want it to break down. You're not going to be able to go run your errands or do anything. So make sure you take care of yourself, take care of your body, because you want to make sure it's up and running and being able to do the things you want it to do. So yeah, feed yourself healthy foods. Again, have dessert, whatever, here and there, but really take care of yourself. Your body is a temple. Another tip for self-care is stimulating your mind. So for me, I read books, and I've actually had more time to read, which is really nice, and I'm honestly learning so much just by reading books. So I think it's great. Stimulate your mind by reading books or writing or poetry or painting. So do something that's going to stimulate your mind. And the last tip of the day is practice gratitude. And the reason why it's so important to practice gratitude is you have to be grateful. You have to be thankful for what you have, because when you're focused on the things that you have and the things that you're grateful for, you're not focusing on the negative things that you don't have. So you want to focus on the good, focus on the blessings, focus on the things that you have on your plate that God has given you, and you're going to be blessed even more, I promise. So with a grateful heart, you're going to put out that energy, and it's going to be multiplied, and you're going to be so much happier, I promise. And do this at the end of the day. Right before you go to sleep, think of 3 things that you're grateful for, whether it be your job or your family or a roof over your head or the nice bed that you have. Think of 3 things that you are grateful for and do it every night. You're going to be so much happier. I believe just having a grateful heart gives you peace and happiness. So those are the tips that I feel that is very important for self-love. I hope you guys enjoyed it and really apply it to your life. Now is the time to practice self-love. Too many people are not loving themselves enough, are not thinking about themselves enough, that are just thinking negative. Let's turn it all around, flip this whole thing, and think about yourself for once. And just, it's not being selfish. It's about putting yourself first to make yourself better so that we can help others. And I think this is, a great tip for us right now, especially for what we're going through. Everyone needs that love. Everyone needs to know their worth and their wholeness. And I think that people can grow from this just by thinking and doing these things for their life. So I'm leaving you with this note. Everything changes when you begin to love yourself. You no longer send out energy of desperation or need to be filled from the outside. You become a powerful source within yourself that attracts better. The more you love who you are, the less you seek validation and approval from others. So again, you guys, love yourself, and once you do, you're going to see such a difference in your life, and you're not gonna seek that and be desperate for something else. And that also reflects on relationships. Like, you don't want to be in a relationship for the wrong reasons. You want to be whole, and again, the person that comes into your life is just so fascinated by how whole and real you are. They're like, oh my god, this person's amazing, and it's gonna motivate them. I hope it motivates them to be whole too, because if they're not, then you don't need to be talking to them like that. Really, you don't need to be getting involved with someone that's not on the same mindset and level as you. Because in my place, like, I'm thinking this person that I'm gonna be with has to be on my level or higher. Honestly, higher, because I want to be lifted and pulled up. And I think it's so important to make sure you don't settle for less. Again, that goes off to settling for less. Make sure that you know your worth and you won't make those same mistakes. So that's it for the day. I love you guys so much, and I hope that you love yourself too. And next time, I'm definitely going to see what I want to talk about next. I know I end up blabbering and like going off the topic, but I just feel so passionate about these conversations that we're having now. I love these coffee and tea with Liane V talks, and I hope you guys too. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube video for more videos. Comment below, let me know what you guys think, and also comment what other topics you would like me to touch on, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Boop. It's so good. Bye. I'll see you guys later. What's up, everyone? I don't like how I sound right now.
Go with that.
Okay, here we go. Let me do that again. So if anyone's telling you they're too busy, they probably just don't want to hang out with you. Sorry. That's kind of mean to say. You know what? I want to do this whole thing over it.